I will. I will say, go check this out. Go check with Canist off. I assume that's how you say their name. I have no clue. They do have a Twitter. They have been doing this for a while. They've been working with multiple people to try and get this document to us. So go definitely check them out. Give them some love. Other than that, there's Wiccan? Oh yeah, Wiccan. You're right. My bad. But we will. I don't know if I want to go through it or if I want to avoid some of this at the start, because the start of this is kind of more prep, where it takes into account a lot of people's documents, and it just kind of puts thumb points in to really explain what's going on in most of these documents to really send it off. But we've been through this. We have a 2.5 hour video about going through all of this. And I don't particularly want to go through it again. It does summarize a lot of it, though. So we can go through it. We can go through it. We're not going to go through every lick of text in this in these, mostly because, again, we've been through most of this, we've read through most of this, and we've seen most of this. This is just really good at catching people up in people who may have forgotten parts of it. So it is good to take into account that a lot of this is just going to cover what Red said, things Nano said, Spite said. I believe it also mentioned Silvervale at the start of this. And it mentions a lot about Shy Lily and Bow. And a lot of things that we do want to take into consideration when it comes to... How many? I think we can actually call them the Big Five. But regardless, so... There's a lot here. We'll cover this in little bits and bobs. And take into very important consideration which ones that we want to pay close attention to. Because most of these points, I have a hunch, are probably going to get refuted by something, but we don't know yet until we get here. Redacted claims there's a VTuber copying Sinders' brand. Spite claims that she is the VTuber being talked about. This is the only time Spite is mentioned. This was a thing and actually should be... This should be something they really need to pay attention to. At least I think so. We want more information because, in my opinion, two people benefited the most out of Spite's downfall. It was... Or not Spite. Sinders' downfall. It was Spite and it was Shy Lily. But Shy Lily made an entire merch brand off of it, and Spite, in literally the span of a couple of days, went from consistent 200 viewers to consistent 2,000 to 5,000 viewers. So her career literally rocketed into the fucking stratosphere. There's some sparks that lit Shoujo on fire. We'll see. Maybe not. Probably not. But we'll see. What's here? Wants Silvervale to recognize Cinder, but understands why Silvervale wouldn't. Yeah, this was also a big thing. I don't know how we're going to take this into consideration, or how they're going to take this into consideration when it comes to Silvervale and Cinder. Because there really isn't a hard... connection. Yeah, same circles. There might be some flavor in there. There might be some connection to this and Vshoujo, but I don't think it'd be a lot. I think it'd maybe be a couple of strings here and there. But the attachment to Silvervale and Cinder wasn't massive. Yeah, that is true. Spite's viewership has dropped off hard since then. But regardless, she still had her... you still had the rocket. Sorry about that. Like, let me just go. Well, I'm just saying, right? We can say that, you know, her viewership has dropped off, right? But that number was not 23K before all this went down. 32, 44, 35. Let's see, how far back can I go? 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 months ago. There's definitely quite an increase that we can find here in my humble side of saying that she kind of took off when it came to it. Regardless though, I don't think there was a lot connecting. Yeah, when she had like 1K followers, yeah, she was not super big. I don't remember there being a huge amount of connection to Silvervale and Cinder in this situation. I just remember Silvervale being kind of one of the sparks to the fire of Cinder wanting to really lock down grabbing Nano. Was kind of one of the main points of a spinning figurine. Yeah, and also I guess there was also the copying claims, which I'm always iffy on the copying thing. I've never really cared for it. 829 Bao asking for business details from Sack. That's right, because Sack was the Bao took fucking Spite's or not Spite, Sinders editor and put him in a contract essentially. Working with a video editor since 2023. Yeah, then there's the email, and they, you know, converse between locking each other into a contract essentially. We can get to Sinders Vtuber editor and manager. This is kind of crazy though. I couldn't imagine being any of this. See, I never understood this right here. Cinder Girl on the right post a picture on Twitter at TwitchCon in 23 at Silvervale's meet and greet. Silvervale claims this is the only time they talk directly. I didn't care for this. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't. The fact that Silver made this like a big fucking deal was so cheesy, in my opinion. Like, didn't Silver's doc mention like she took pictures without permission? I'm like, bitch, you're a fucking TV screen. Shut up. Like, I remember there being so much more discourse in Silvervale's document about this. Annoyed the shit out of me. I didn't like it because I didn't care for it. Like, this is such a nothing burger of a conversation that claims the only time they talk directly. We do know that they talked more than this time directly. Well, no, because Silvervale has a manager that runs her shit. I showed you my doc. Please respond. You know, like, I don't see the issue in this. I think it's fine. It's whatever. Whatever. I think that, yeah, many things would work in the EU though. Also, Cinder really loved meeting you and wanted to collab, so I told her I'd let you know and throw you guys into the group chat if you're interested. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not into collabs. No worries. Hope you're having a good weekend. All thanks. I'm trying to do a lot of internet stuff. I hope you had a fun con. Had fun at the con, and everything went okay. Hold the fucking second. Hold the fucking front door. Hold on. Hold on. I need to check something here. I believe Cinder was American, yeah. There's something I need to check here. This actually might be really important. Let's see here. Okay, she actually uses correct punctuation. Discovering was the scenes, reaching an innocence, barely talked. There's some, I remember there being... Ah! I was right. Yeah. I was not informed of this picture or asked permission for it and only knew about it once I saw it on Twitter. Yeah. Don't care. I knew I remembered some shit about this. Yeah. I remember some shit like this. I remembered it. It is absolutely fucking silly. Yeah, I didn't get permission for my picture. You're at a con, and you're not even at a con. You're a fucking TV screen. Shut up. Like, holy shit. Let's see. Discovering this all seems to be retching. There's something I need to check. I didn't have her again in the vibe that her primary goal is to come into the social ladder and grow, and I'm fully aware how... Sure, but I... Hello? Did... Oh, Sinders' video just started playing. Spite's video. Comfortable differentiate and having her gotten the vibe for that was her primary goal was to climb the social and content ladder and grow her brand. I am now fully just how to grow in this sphere, but I personally don't have the emotional fortitude or bandwidth for friendships expressed. For the record, I think it's fine that I have that view and approach to content creation, but I also reserve the right to simply not vibe with someone. I would not associate with someone and then pretend to be their friend and purposes. Okay. See, yeah, it's been... I guess I misremembered. I swear I thought I remember her saying something about she didn't even know that was Cinder whenever she first saw her, but it's fine, whatever. Let's get back to it. Cinder sent Silvervale a friend request on Discord, which she accepted. Whenever Cinder offers a different type of collaboration, sponsorships, merch, music, etc. to Silvervale, and politely declines again. Also, this is a bannable things at most, but we're not taking pictures of people. That's the issue. We're not taking pictures of people. We're taking pictures of TV screens. Nobody's privacy is invaded when you are taking a picture of a TV screen. With this idea, if you took a picture of your monitor right now with me on the fucking screen, that would be like saying you're invading my privacy. That is absurd. Regardless of the con rules, whatever the fuck, it does not matter. We are not there personally. We are not there in human form. We are simply a fucking TV screen with a set of pixels on that screen. No privacy was invaded. If anything, it wouldn't matter because they took a picture of my fucking model. Oh, okay. Congrats. Ooh, whoop-de-doo, Basil. They took a picture of a monitor. Doesn't even consume the rules extend to that. They don't. Obviously, just rules based, but also those rules are also flaky in many of context. It's mostly to take. It's the rule at cons is you're not supposed to take pictures of people without the permission, but it is actually more of the purpose of you're not allowed to take pictures of people, pictures of, yeah, to prevent upshots. You're not supposed to take pictures up. It's for perverts, all right? It's the rule is for perverts. It's not for taking pictures of random people. Yeah, you probably don't want to do it because one, it's a little weird, and two, why would you take a picture of a cosplayer who's, I don't know, eating food? It seems a little weird. It's kind of creepy, but also you at the same time you're gonna get pictures of people in the background. Like I have pictures of a con and I have other cosplayers in the background. I technically broke the rules. Whoop-de-doo. But it's obviously it's not an enforceable rule that way. Either way, doesn't matter. Cinder offers a different type of collaboration, which is fine. Cinder reached out to Silvervale about receiving her Gamer Subs merch in the mail, which is cool. Yeah, it really is weird. Let's see. Yeah, she gets her Gamer Sub stuff. Nanolis reached out to Silvervale canceling her modder commission due to health reasons, but is opening to doing other art commission. Nanolis claims she can work on Silvervale's model sometime next year. Silvervale is upset, but understands the reasoning for the cancellation. It's very weird. I don't know. For me, it just seems odd that it's like, I can't do your model, but I can do illustrations. It just seems weird. Like if you're sick, you're sick. You're not going to be doing work. Reached out to Silvervale, canceling her modder commission due to health reasons. Upset. Yeah. Redacted since DM'd Nanos expressing that as there are no more nano babies. (11/17/2023). Huh. I didn't even notice there was a profile change there. Odd. Model clients, it becomes less special to be one. Nanolis's doc suggests Cinder and Redacted have an obsession with Silvervale. This DM is part of her proof. Well, if it's not Guri wants a nano model or not, and hope Silver finds someone else. Yeah, that's okay. Which refers to the DM on 11/17/23 at 10:59, sourced above. So it's about working with Cinder. My friends told me it's a bit unfair. Yeah, it's a bit unfair to stop. Again, should have just whatever. I know what you want, but I was under the impression that taking on more Cinder work is what you wanted to do. I didn't think it was like that was making you do that. Yeah, didn't really see that. Obviously, we can only take messages at face value. There's really not much to go through here with this. I mean, I said it's true about feel. I want to say you don't listen to work from on because like we've gone through this. None of this is really trying to point anything out. It's just trying to set the tone. It's not like I'm selling Cinder to everyone. Please don't feel this way. Granted, it is kind of shitty to say this, but it's like there is a point there. If everybody owns a pair of wheelies, the wheelies are a lot less special. It's just It's just the truth. If everyone could afford wheelies, there wouldn't be rich kids. Let's see. Silverveil and Nanolist Doc. I want to take it, but I don't want to disrespect Cinder. I just want to do pretty models, no hurt feelings. They'd still be cool, but they're not as. But you're not as. But as you're not as cool as the one kid in the entire school with a pair of wheelies. They'd still be cool, but you wouldn't be the cool kid with a pair of wheelies. It'd be you're just the cool kids because you all have wheelies. It doesn't make the wheelies less cool. It's just you're not the cool kid anymore. Because everybody has wheelies. It's like being the first dude to bring a tech deck to school. You know, everyone wants to play with the tech deck. The tech deck is still cool, but that tech deck is bringing you popularity. You know, and it's cool. It's a cool tech deck. You know, you get a ramp for it and all that jazz. You know, do a grind and kick flips. It says she doesn't want Cinder to be her sole model client. She doesn't want to sacrifice other clients' projects for Cinder. Redacted apologized for giving the impression that they want an analyst to only work for Cinder / Redacted. Redacted understands analyst's desire to continue working with other people, and they clear up some miscommunication. Redacted and Nanolist want to continue working together in the future. Nanolist tells Redacted that she wants to be transparent with both sides. So, actually, hold on, let me do something real quick. Let me grab this. There we go. Silvervesh canceled the health issues and screenshot. Yeah, we saw that. Redacted apologized to analysts again and reinforces that they don't want to make an analyst feel like she's forced to work with only them. Then this is when they try and set up the little deal. Nanalyst reaches out to Cinder directly to address conversations between Nanalyst and Redacted. Nanalyst asks for Cinder's thoughts on DMs. This is whenever she started feeling a little slighted about what Red was saying, which is understandable. I would feel a little slighted too, but wait a minute. Where did this source come from? An analyst? Damn, they scrolled up for that. You're viewing older messages. Nanalyst reassures Cinder, even though she'll be working with other clients in addition to Cinder, Nanalyst will have priority spot for Cinder when available. That always seems so weird. I always take these with a grain of salt. The amount of times I've been told, oh, I have a priority slot for you, and then it's like, you still have an 8-month wait. It's like, okay. Did you cancel models? I did not. Nano Arc delayed to 2026. I'm scared to cancel with Bao. You shouldn't be. She has many connections. Red asked me to cancel on one of the closest friends, Bao, by asking me to cancel my work mid-progress, manipulating me into thinking it's okay since she has many connections, and she'll be fine anyway, so I wouldn't feel guilty about it or worry too much. It was and is upsetting to me that Red contacted me specifically to check on me canceling the model I had planned with Bao. It's nothing about some sort of premium, yeah. Exactly. I can never say that there's no reason to say it if there's no pay. Yeah, if there's no pay for that premium slot, then there's no reason to say it. Just don't even fucking mention it. Nanolist's claim that Redacted asked her to cancel Bao is not supported by this DM. Redacted seems to be checking if she did cancel with anyone. I also got that impression when we first went through that, because they were looking for whether or not they had room for a commission. Asking Bao to cancel specifically, where the conversation about canceling Bao's commission, how come we don't see that? That is also very true. There's a little bit of a jump, but I do wonder if there's just nothing there because it's 413. Or there's wait a minute, did I get confused? Yeah, I did. Fucking ISP's talking about how you're a priority. Yeah. I'm really backed up, but just for you, I will allow you to have a priority slot. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a priority slot. Yeah, this really doesn't have all that much. Redacted seems to be checking if you cancel it and not asking about specifically. Where's the conversation about canceling Bao's commission? That is true. We don't see that conversation. That actually didn't get posted anywhere, so that does make a really good point. Nanolist hasn't canceled yet and is scared to cancel with Bao. Yeah, Redacted reassures her that Bao can find another artist quickly due to her connection. Nanalyst thinks about giving the model, like, this seems manipulative, but if you're trying to cancel, then that would be the right connection. I don't know. Just seems like some shit people would say. Things about giving the model to Bao for free as an apology for canceling. Redacted is telling the analyst not to sell herself short by giving the design away for free. This is the part that's really weird. Like, kind of reading onto it now. It's like Redacted. They're trying to claim that Redacted, or Red, I'm just gonna call him Red, is trying to manipulate the situation and essentially fuck over Nano, or not fuck over. Fuck over Nano to try and cancel commissions with Bao. But wouldn't it just, if you're trying to manipulate them to completely abandon Bao in this situation, why try and get them to convince Bao to get the bag? Like, it just doesn't make sense. If you're trying to get somebody to stop doing things, the thing you would tell them to do would be further delay the situation so that they can pay for it. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It mentions that opening model inquiries was a mistake. Deal with this shit all the time in work. Exactly. They said I sound like an owl. This is the part when you go, whoo, and then the joke continues, and then Sax Doc, you wouldn't happen to be available for a music video. This is setting up the premise for Sack and all that conversation. Too smart is crazy. Hey Red, thanks for waiting. So I've been trying to figure out if there's a feasible way I could slide Cinder into the schedule. As we know, they couldn't get Cinder into the schedule because there was all that delay, coming on with a different bunch of edits and stuff like that. Tug has a brother. Very true. To who? Yeah, there's no really bullet points added to this. This is just to set the premise that like they were talking a lot with Sack, and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like whoop, and they never really got anything done. This is when they got the render done and they got, a few edits in and stuff like that. Sack is going to work exclusively with Bao moving forward. This is kind of important. We do want to take this into consideration, but other than that, we don't really need to dive too hard into that. Again, I've already gone through it on the YouTube channel if you want to look into that. Redacted inquires about an exclusivity deal with Nanolith. The more I think about it, right? The more, let's see, this is on 115. $115, 12/8, so a little over a month later, right? The more I think about it, the more I think that this response to an exclusivity deal makes more and more sense. What's the scoop? What's the 411? If you want the, again, as I will mention, if you want the full breakdown and you want to be caught up on the Cinder drama, there is a 2-hour YouTube video, and then this video itself will end up also going on the YouTube, and you can watch it all together, big one. But if you want to be here live for this, you are more than welcome. Yeah, we are going into the follow-up on Cinder of the attempt to prove her innocent. We'll see what we come to towards the end of this. But the more I think about it, the more that this seems like a correct action, right? Like your editor or your MV guy just got bought out exclusivity, into an exclusivity deal and is no longer going to work with you. You're going to run into the point where you need people to work with you. And it would be really unfortunate that if Nanolith got yoinked into an exclusivity deal here, like that would be GG's. Like Cinder would have there'd be it. Like that would be it. So I can understand where this reaction here would be to try and run a prevention on that. Well, Sack went exclusive. So, let's try and, take a hold of our crew while we can before they get bought out by somebody else. It's kind of like raising the pay on your employees so your employees don't leave. Same shit. Redacted inquires about an exclusivity deal with Nanolith. Nanolith entertains the idea and asks for more details. Redacted wants Nanolith to not take any new model clients and not make new model and outfits for Silverveil. This doesn't apply to Nanolith's other clients. Nanolith can still do artwork commissions for anyone. It's definitely a little weird that it specifies Silvervale. Not to make any new models and outfits with Silvervale again. Which is a little odd. Redacted concern about Nanolith's clients devalue her existing Nanolith's clients devalue her existing clients and doesn't want Nanolith to work with specific people. Redacted claims that claims there has been drama between Cinder and other creators and doesn't want those creators to have access to Nanolith. Understandably so. Considering again they just lost one of their editors. Redacted elaborates on the drama between Cinder and other creators. This is just fucking venting in a fucking work chat, essentially. Nobody. Yeah, asking a supplier to not work with others is fucked up. They were looking to pay money for it. They were asking them not to work with other clients, but it was at the, if you got offers, they were going to pay you money, stuff like that. Like, they were going to compensate the offers. They were going to compensate the loss with new offers. Stuff like that. That was the idea. It didn't go through anyway, so it doesn't really matter anything. It's definitely... Yeah, it's back to being fucked up, but it just is what it is. Like, we don't know any of the information about what they did with SAC, so like... I don't know. It's hard to say what the money end of this deal would be. Like, I'd assume there's not a lot of detail of what they wanted other than that. Like, the only thing it really goes into is the compensation for the loss of it. You know? But we only know, like, where you were going to get the extra money from, or like where extra money was going to come in from to replace the loss. But they never, tell the restaurant they need to pay people. You'll just pay them to turn people away. Yeah, which is dumb. I do agree. I'm not disagreeing with you on this one, Lou. But I don't know the full deals of this contract. I don't know, or this idea. I don't know if they were like, oh, we'll give you more money, and we'll pay you for, missed commissions. Like, I don't know if there was going to be any sort of, oh, you're paid full time. There's not enough information in this for me to give a hard opinion, because in my opinion, if, let's say they gave her a massive money increase, or they gave Nano a massive money increase, but then gave her extra money for turning people away, it's awful, but like, it's a bonus, I guess. The agreement was fucked from the start. We don't have enough details, and we don't know what Red's full idea was on this. It doesn't seem it was like really fully thought out, and it seems more like it was a panic situation because, again, they had just lost their editor. The dude who did their MV work. So, there's definitely a little bit of panic here because they're running out of people to work with. So it just seems like they were, it wasn't a fully thought out idea. It was a spitball. Who knows? I would need to understand the details of what Red would have wanted. Elaborates the drama between Cinder and the other creators. Yeah. Sometimes over Cinder, we can't really confront them about it. And plus, she's gone 3D lately. This is back to Silver, I believe. Yeah, they fucking spit. Yeah. It was very dumb. It was very dumb. I don't agree very hard with the, like, idea of the exclusivity deal. But I'm also iffy on exclusivity deals when it comes to this market. That's my problem. Elaborates on more drama between Cinder and Bao. It doesn't, but yeah, it's done by full-time salary pay, which if that was offered, that's good. If it wasn't, I don't know. Yeah, not by sniping every request. Yeah. Redacted elaborates on more drama between Cinder and Bao. Redacted shares his opinion on Bao's MVs and MV editor Sack and why he went exclusive with Bao. Nanolist didn't include this part. Again, this isn't to prove, I guess I should really explain this too. This isn't to fully prove that Cinder is completely innocent and everything that happened with Cinder isn't that deep. It is to show that there is some corroboration behind the scenes. There was stuff planned, and this was definitely more set up and made intentionally larger than it was supposed to be, simply to bring somebody down and essentially knock them to the ground. So regardless, how do we look at it? There are going to still be things that are unforgivable, and they are still bad things to do and bad things to attempt. And so there isn't guaranteed innocence here, and that's not what they're fully trying to explain. They're trying to show that it was just some Mean Girls bullshit, and the reaction was way out of proportion, which I agree. I think the reaction was very out of proportion. Redactor brings up tweets made by Sack, Bao's MV editor, about going exclusive with Bao. This is very shortly. I feel like they got very slighted on this, is what really happened, is because once their fucking like editor left, it definitely seems like they found out a month after that their MV artist just went fucking exclusive. And it definitely feels like this was just straight panic response, is just what this was. After finishing up 2 more comms for peeps, I'll be shutting down my comms forever and editing anonymously in-house for Bao. Freelance has been fun and got to work with lots of people and really cool stuff, but I'm putting myself in Bao content as my only priorities for the future. It's so weird. I don't like this. The more I think about this post, the more I don't like it. It just seems... Yeah, and honestly, in-house too is if you pay them full-time and employ them. Yeah. Non-compete contract, yeah. It just seems so weird. Something about this just feels off. I don't know. Something about reading it, and when I look at it, it just seems so... I don't know. Something gives me the weird... I get weird heebie-jeebies when I read this. She's barking on the tree of one of our live 2D animators, so like... And you, and a nano model, and looking for me sounds sus for sure. It's so annoying. I don't know, man. Redacted claims that Bao, as after one of Redacted Sinders live 2D animators, Redacted is worried that Bao is going to commission Nanolist, which means less time for Cinder. They are already getting pushed back a year, so I can understand this. Analysis balance still reveals doc. We can pay blank for you and don't have to discount it from the next payment, and we'll continue giving lots of work, I think. So for this year right now, but I don't work with Bao or Silver at all again. I don't remember who the fuck that was. Oh, wait. We can pay blank for you and don't have to discount it from the next payment, and we'll continue giving lots of model work. A little bit more, since Silver still asks for art every now and then, we could do it. Like, Silver asks art, you tell her no, and then tell us to buy another piece of art, like, so you still get a job from it. There's a gap in the conversation between 8:54 p.m. and 9 p.m. There is. Wonder why. Huh. Wait a minute. There is a conversation here. Wait a minute. I mean, there was. What about? And then right here, she has a way of guilt tripping people to get her way. There is an entire conversation, like right here in the middle, that just is gone. That's so weird. Redacted at 854 and 9. Why is this left out? Redacted offers different terms for the exclusivity deal. He doesn't want Nanolis to work with Bow, Blank, or Silverveil at all models and art. Nanolis asks for more compensation since Silverveil commissions her every now and then. Redacted counter offers. Sinders wants to say sorry for stepping back on the exclusivity deal. Wanted to apologize personally to you since I've only talked about a thread, but I don't want to be dragged into personal issues like that. After all, Silver's still a client and it makes me anxious and kind of destroys my mental to do this kind of deal. Just wanted you to know I still love working with you in red. I'll understand if things don't work out because of silver. I just love my clients. That's all. I get it. It was unfair to push this on you, but it's really confusing going back and forth about it. I just get compared a lot, even still today, and it's like I'm always living in Chum's was reason why I read, blah, 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 blah. And when you said I understand if things work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts us so much after this. I really appreciate you, Indiana. It's a decision who you ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling. This is understandable when it damn near commissions get pushed back a year. Very rough. I don't see the point of keep thinking about being compared to Silver. You're so much bigger already. You've done so much more, but I would never give Silver any priority over you. Also, there's not any model for her being discussed. Also, I'm not doing her models, but at least gamer subs, art stuff would be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an asshole. That's all. It's not me, but other people's opinions of us. I'm trying to get involved with, just trying to not get involved in any drama that other people want to talk about comparing us, but I understand where you're coming from. There's no hard feelings. Sorry about this. My mental is just a bit weak. Nano reaches out to Cinder about stepping back on the exclusivity deal, and because it's taken told him, and hell doesn't understand the unwillingness part of Silverveil. Cinder apologized for pushing the Silverveil name on fans. Again, I'm just going to kind of skim through most of this just because, again, we've been through this. Cinder and Alice agrees they still like each other and sympathize with each other. This is Bao's proof that she was in a call with her video editors, including Kaiser, who was Cinder's first video editor, or who was first Cinder's video editor. Bao claims that she commissions Kaiser from one stream highlight a month. Hey, Tools, thank you for the follow. I think they all need to touch grass. I agree. Bao claims Kaiser wanted a raise from Cinder, but was afraid due to turning down the exclusivity deal. Bao claims that she urged Kaiser to take the exclusivity deal, and it would not affect their Bao-Kaiser relationship. Companies hire freelancers and contractors all the time. Whatever the hell this counter pay thing is fun. Yeah, it's very dumb. Again, VTubers thinking they know what they're doing when they really don't. Do you have any plans with Lily besides just the model, like outfits or merch or anything? Been just models so far. This is the Nanola stock. Again, we're just kind of skimming to get through the... it's just Cinder and Blank you've been wanting to mount outfits for. Right. Redacted asks Nanolis if she has plans with Shy Lily other than the current model commission. Analyst says no. Redacted is worried about Shy Lily's model commission since Shy Lily has been acting strange to Cinder. Redacted is worried about Nanolis's commission with Shy Lily will lead to less time with Cinder. Nanolis informs Redacted of her upcoming commissions. Redacted is worried about Shy Lily's actions and wants to stay competitive. Nanolis is cropping the DMs to leave out more info. What was said between Redacted at 10:22 and 10:24, as well as 10:25 and 10:29. 10:22. Even though she's anytime soon, I don't know. Hate that we keep... There is definitely a conversation somewhere in the middle here. I wonder what that is. And then... yeah, then there's a conversation here that we aren't really privy to. Yeah, exactly, though. That's the whole point of contracts. All right, in defense of Cinder, we have made it. We have made it to the great debunking. Ooh. All right, this is a fucking round of applause, I guess. we skimmed through most of it just to get a fucking rebreather, I guess, on the entire situation. First, I'd like to say I won't be covering everyone that dogpiled on Cinder because there was like 30 of them, and only the main and some secondary actors. Each actor will be under their own subtitle to keep this document fluid and readable. It would be as readable as possible. Just fucking reverse it all. Go back to square one this time. Start discussing terms in normal ways. Yeah, it would solve a lot of problems. The issue is, though, these VTubers have never worked in regular fucking jobs, so they have no idea how this shit works. It's very silly. Spite claims that Cinder copied parts of her model. Though I can agree some are very similar, we must realize that Cinder is a hellhound and Spite is a Cerberus. Though Spite does not have multiple heads, naturally these two mythic animals share the same attributes as they take a dog form. Spite's claim that Cinder copied is false. Have at most worked an entry-level job, yeah. First, let's establish Spite's design. Spite designs her own models and has someone else rig her model, shown in the following thing. Yeah, the three-headed doggo, not three-headed. I designed all of my models, and she gets somebody else to rig them. Now let's look at some of the timestamps. June 27th, 2021. Here's the full PNG I've been using for my streams. I'll be working on my 2D model art soon. I'm so excited. As you can see, Cinder was using a PNG avatar for her streams. Notice the date posted June 27th, 2021. The art that started it all, my reference sheet, was created back in 2020. I'm so happy I was able to finally bring this design to life. It's so perfect for me. Here you can see that Cinder's reference sheet was made in 2020. Remember, Cinder was using a PNG avatar through 2021 until this post date, as indicated. A 2D model was being made in or around August 17th, 2020. Also, you can see that blue flames and blue color scheme are part of the original concept. No, yeah, that they are. They right. It's there. You pretty damn clear. It's definitely there. Okay. Right. I remember this discourse. In Spite's post here, you can see that Spite's 1.0 model was made in 2021. So even though Cinder's 1.0 model was being made after Spite's 1.0 model, Cinder reference sheet was not out months before Spite's model. Oh, that's true. That's true, because this was like the big claim to... That was the big claim that Spite took, that, you know, it was being stolen. Another point of contention is the hoodie model. Spite claims that Cinder copied her. On April 20th, 2024, I debuted a new model from my model mama, RAVT. I got a hoodie. Damn it, it's Ari from League of Legends. I got a hoodie with a cute design on top, and I had side bangs covering my eyes. On April 4th, 2025, Cinder debuted a sports hoodie with side bangs covering her eyes, similar to mine. Note, Spite says April 20th, when her actual debut was on the 29th. I believe this was just a typo. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Okay. As these designs are very similar, the hoodie with ears concept has been around for years. Yeah, that is very true. I didn't know Ari. Yeah, same. I didn't know Ari was a VTuber. That's wild. I knew that bitch from League couldn't be trusted. This proves that Cinder did not copy Spite on this model. They used a concept that had already been made. Are we... Are we really? Wait. I never took into consider. I don't know if I read Spite's original one. I don't think I did. I may have. I think I did, but I really didn't care because it's fucking... Ooh, side bangs. Ooh, everything else about the model, everything else about the hoodie outfit and everything is completely fucking different. The hoodie itself isn't even the same. If anything, there's a better argument that Cinder took this hoodie from the fucking bear person because it has the same fucking weird hoodie shape right there. Just get on the bandwagon, yeah. Carpet burn on balls is terrible. This proves that Cinder did not copy this part of the model, and it is a very good point. This does prove that because Cinder's original concept has been out, and that they probably just chose the same concept as most of these fucking VTubers do, because they all just hop on the same trend, and all of a sudden everybody has the same fucking all of them have the same Twitter post for like a week. Recently, one of Cinder's artists spoke out to refute the claims that Cinder copied Spite. No problem. I also want to clarify that Cinder did not mention Spite or use her as a reference in any way during our commission process, and some of the similarities in their outfits, spiky bracelets, G-strings, choker, thigh straps, was my idea, not suggested by Cinder. Feeling a bit antsy now because I did some digging on a big VTuber drop that happened 2 months ago, and I realized that there was something I could have added to the conversation that could have changed public opinion on it. I was a outfit designer for a VTuber that fell from grace, and some info that I had might have lessened the public critique on her. It's not a lot, but it might have cleared her of one accusation. I think it's too late to make a statement, but it still bothers me that I didn't check on this earlier. There you go. I read that in full. Van Peaches is a former friend of Cinder who felt forgotten about due to Cinder's rise to fame. As we already know, oh man, that's kind of sad. It's a little on the, that's sad. As we already know, Bao was being pressured by Shy Lily to include the private information that Redacted wasn't just Cinder's manager, but also her lover. Though Bao did release a document, she did not include the information on Cinder's relationship with Redacted. Almost immediately, which is suspect, Van Peaches released a series of Twitter posts exposing that Cinder and Redacted were in a relationship after Cinder released her apology, stating that she did not know Redacted was doing these things. The Mean Girls use Cinder and Redacted's relationship as a point of attack, stating that they operate as one person and she knows 100% of what Redacted is doing. I'll be using some items proving otherwise. In this video, Cinder talks about her housemates living in the basement and why she can't do ASMR streams. Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. I just realized that's not being recorded in the VOD. Let me move that here. There we go.
Being on the topic of Tashi, will there be
find
more
success
3D
with what you want to do.
content soon?
Yeah.
Or will that be
Just keep
after moving
going.
to the new house? Keep up
Yeah,
the
I haven't been able to do
content,
3D stuff
Cinder.
because of my
I
housemate's
love
dog
being part of
barking and
this
my PC
awesome
fans being
community,
loud
Ox.
and
I love
the room that I have to stream in because I stream in a basement. But once this new house is built, you betcha things are gonna be so fucking awesome.
Okay. Well, it confirmed that, I guess. Since her fucking huge, holy shit is insane. I didn't know she had a lisp. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought the lisp was kind of, I just learned about her lisp and it's kind of cute. I'm not gonna diss it. She talks about her housemates living in the basement, why she can't do ASMR. Cinder once again confirms that she has lived in her house basement for the last 3 years. Huh? Wait a minute, what? Fuck off.
Be on Twitch. Another thing that I've been working on, so I've been literally living in a basement for 3 years, and it's really starting to take a huge mental toll. So I've been spending a lot of my days off
I would
Normally when I
assume.
have days off from like normal streaming, it's all like behind the scenes work, right? Like that cool 3D stuff, and the time that I normally spent offline working on other stuff has been spent just like organizing my my living space and trying to get it in a better state so I don't like actually burn myself out because I'm on the brink. I'm on the brink. So
I'm gonna be honest, it took me forever to realize that this was actually coordinated to her.
And some of you guys know that I have a house being built, and it's probably still gonna be a while. No substantial progress has been made yet because HVAC is a pain in the butt.
HVAC sucks.
But hopefully, you know, by the end of the year, tentatively by the end of the year, I hope, I'll be able to actually move out. And so cleaning everything out now will make things a lot easier for me when I eventually move. But yeah, it's been so much on my plate, and the timing could.
Yes. Yes, sometimes I do.
I want to make it up to you guys. I'm not like doing a crazy move. It's relatively, you know, close by. Be on Twitch.
Okay. Well, that confirms that. Cinder also talks about moving, also mentioning her father.
My dad was like, you know, talking to his family about us moving and building a new house.
It's actually kind of a dope model.
Can I have that table and like that kitchen set when you guys?
I have no idea what this whole section is. I'm just going through because I assume there's necessary context. I don't know.
And all of a sudden, my aunt is like, I'm gonna need that table because I'm gonna do a big Thanksgiving. And we're like, but then we're not gonna have a we didn't move out yet. It's still gonna be like minimum 6 months to potentially a year before we're moving out. So now my dad's gonna be dismantling it and bringing it over.
That's
we'll just eat on the
crazy.
floor, I guess. I mean, I already like craft on the floor. That's probably the source of my back pain, to be honest. I know, you might be convinced otherwise. I should really stop crafting on the floor. Back before I realized how toxic it was to inhale contact cement fumes, I would just have a whole ass can of this glue open on the floor while I'm working. Because I sat on the floor, my legs
It's
would
on the
fall
label.
asleep sometimes. And I went to go move my leg because I couldn't feel it anymore. And while I was moving my leg, I accidentally knocked over my brand new, completely full can of contact cement all over the carpet. And I calmly went out into the living room and I was like, hey Dad, how do you get contact cement out of carpet? And he goes, well, I don't think you do. He's like,
I have no idea what the...
I was like,
So we huff in
carpet.
cement fumes.
And so he came to look at it and he's like, you know, we've been wanting to remodel this room for a while now, so that's just what we'll do. Up until the time my parents were ready to remodel that room, there was this hard, firm patch of carpet.
Okay. Well, what's up, Watley? Okay. Cinder receives candles, talks about her house being made, and says, then I can pretend I have a man come home to me. Okay. This really didn't confirm really anything. I would go through this, but like at this point, this is just fucking nothing information. This it's not relevant to any discussion here. This isn't this entire section here could have been completely brought out and it would have made no impact whatsoever to the conversation unless it comes back around full circle, which we will find out. Finally, this picture is from Rain's dog. Besides you said it's hard when your boyfriend is far, far away. I'm not your boyfriend, am I? No, but how nice would that be? Your perfect boyfriend material. Here's just saying it's hard when your boyfriend is far, far away. These 5 points of evidence suggest that Cinder and Redacted do not live together. Oh. It wasn't trying to prove that. It was trying to say that there's no way of them knowing 100% of everything going on. Because they don't live together. Even people who live together don't know 100%. I've never liked this argument either because this was such a I've never touched grass and been in a relationship type of fucking argument that people had on Twitter. Because if every fucking relationship couple knew what it would knew 100% of everything that they were doing, bitches wouldn't get cheated on. That is just the fucking truth. It's like this entire argument was completely irrelevant, stupid, and was such a fucking I don't know what grass and the smell of a woman is like that I was just like, whatever. This is such a... This shouldn't be something that needed to be disproven in the first place because it's such a fucking no-brainer to understand that, yeah, couples don't know 100% of everything that's going on. My husband tells me everything that he does every time. Oh, bullshit. Shut the fuck up. As you all know, Nanolith was Sinders' main artist. Nanolith and Sinders' interaction started early in their careers. Nanolith was only doing model art, but did not know how to live 2D cut. Cinder was looking for an artist to rebrand and was having no luck. Cinder fell in love with Nanolith's art and commissioned her, but also had to find someone to teach Nanolith how to live 2D cut. On April 26, 2025, Nanolith tweeted out shocking the VTuber community with the document she had linked. Ah yes, terminating my work with Cinder. I'd like to point out some things that are suspicious in this document. The DMs don't also lack context, but also were placed out of order to confuse the reader. I believe this was done so the reader would gloss over the finer details. Credited to Sparky Tech Corner and his crew, Nanolith's version of the DMs were different to Bao's versions. There are multiple instances of edited screenshots to hide important information like the following. Of course, I wanted to understand it better, specifically if I cancel on her the second time. With blank, she's given a lot of bias and priority at G sometimes over Cinder, and we can't really confront them about it, and plus, she's gone 3D lately. Blank hurt one of our friends pretty bad, and I can't really say much more than that since it's not my drama to get into. Okay. Nanolith's doc. Wait, Bao's been on my nerves for a while. She hijacked. She's gone 3D lady. Hurt one of your friends and say it's not a drama to get into. Huh. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, and it was digitally altering DMs in their Google Doc. Yeah. One line has been edited out by an analyst. Yeah. Oh, shit. What? Jesus. Okay, what in the fucking creepy pasta? All right, calm down. Hey, Cinder, I hope you're doing okay. I talked with Red, and I believe he talked to you already, although it would be best if you check out personally. Actually, I wanted to know better your thoughts, because Red tried to talk to me, and I think I misunderstood things. I'm doing good. What's up, Nano? Oh, it's mostly about this. I thought on canceling some models. I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Of course, we love working with you. We want to keep working together. I assume there's something I'm supposed to be able to witness here. But all I have is some creepy pasta ass shit. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find a way to discover that real quick. Give me a second. No, not now. Let's see. The screenshot put through the photo. Oh, never mind. Well, that was I guess I wasn't supposed to read ahead. I was trying to read. As you can see, when the screenshot is put through a photo forensic system, courtesy of Sparky's Tech Corner, it is shown that the image has possibly been digitally altered. This is indicated by the different shade of black that is perfectly shaped around the paragraph. Oh, yeah. This is indicated by the different shade of black that's perfectly shaped around the paragraph. Let's move on to the accusation made by Redacted, asked for other VTubers' commissions to be canceled by Nanoless. Oh, shit. Did you cancel my models? I did not. Nano Arc delayed to 2026. Seen here, Redacted is asking if Nanoless canceled commissions, not to cancel them. But I think it's the compressed screenshot that would be dumb to point out. Would be. Did you cancel the models? I did not. Nano Arc delayed 26. You shouldn't be canceling. Seen here, Redacted is asking if Nanoless canceled commissions, not to cancel them. I tried to be as parent. I think it's more fair if you didn't tell Blank to cancel. Did you? Yeah, just in nice cancellation terms. Yeah. I would never blame anyone besides Blank. These are the same conversation. One is censored and the other is uncensored. Okay. Oh. I have no clue. Again, sorry, sounds like that was what I was telling you. Okay. Yeah, it's just blown up version of the other conversation with Mio. Mio is the big censor here. Redacted asked Nels if she canceled commissions because of Cinder, and she claims no. And she claims no, that it was because of health issues. She also states, I would never blame anyone besides Mio. Yeah, so who is Mio? Mio is Nanoless's manager and husband. This can be confirmed from Nanoless's statement saying her manager wanted her to cancel commissions because of her health, then saying Mio would be the only one to blame. Oh, so Nano was doing the same shit that they called out Cinder for doing? Oh, shit. Okay, we got a little bit of flavor here. We got some hypocrisy going on. All right, we got a little bit of delicious. Yeah, where the fuck is the manager in this then? Yeah. Redacted asks an analyst if she canceled commission because of Cinder, and she claims no, that would never blame me. Mio's the analyst's manager and husband. So I have to cancel the model comms. Sorry, my manager told me I have to cancel the most comms possible for healthy reasons. I've been working too hard and it's getting into me. I really apologize for this inconvenience. I was looking forward to the model so much. But I've been excited for a new model from you. I understand, though, you have to prioritize your health and taking care of yourself. Hope your health improves and you feel better. Make sure to get lots of rest and relaxation. I'm sorry, it hurts me a lot, too. I wish I could do, but I believe it's sometime next year. That's okay. I know you have a ton of on your plate. Oh. Why even call them a manager? Oh, shit. Mio's analyst's manager. Bro. Oh, that shit's crazy. Okay. I got nothing on that. That actually kind of like that made me speechless. Oh shit. I ran out of words for that. So that Mio is an analyst's manager and husband. Okay. Uh-huh. Husband. Oh shit. As you see, these picture Nanolis has husband besides Mio's name, and Mio has a heart next to Nanolis's name. Oh shit. Dust pretty much. Morning. Today I'm doing a blood test. Being adult is tiring. Good morning. On a nation today, I'm home all day finally. I had an afternoon nap. I hate myself. That's a crazy ass fucking sticker. I feel like shit. I hate it. I play 12 hours non-stop of Supermarket Simulator. The addiction is real without that game. I would love to collab more. Would depend on my mood at the moment. Also, I have a ton, lots of work getting behind because I slacked this week. That cat needs therapy. By the way, Brazil might ban Twitter soon. Okay. Nano had to drop me as a client because her work schedule is too hectic. From Bao. Oh. From these screenshots, Nanolis was in fact sick, and during this time, she canceled on Bao and Silvervale, refuting the claim that they were both canceled because of Redacted. I'm not saying names, but Nano already had to refuse comm for a lot of big and interesting people. Too much backlog already, I'd assume. I mean, she don't have backlog, but okay, but she schedule for each month and then charge when she starts, so she won't have that mind pressure. Having a stroke. Hold on. she don't have backlog, but a fake she schedule for each month and then charge when she starts, so she won't have that mind pressure. That's as far as I know. That's crazy. Okay. So technically no backlog, but fully booked. Makes sense. Charge in advance for all clients at once is how you make your brain explode. And give them a right to complain if too slow, while if they don't have any money in. In these screenshots, Meals talk about Nano's workload. Just finished a model. I'll sleep like a baby today. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much again, Mousy, for letting me work on another model for you. This is actually a retouch on her dress-up model. Also, thanks rigging her and Valerie's every detail. I'm gonna be real. I forgot she had this model. I'm gonna be honest. Later that day, Nanolis states she finished a model that turns out to be Iron Mouse. So good morning, well, morning, Nano. Sorry to hear you didn't sleep well. Heat keeping you awake. Anxiety for AX. You're going to have a lot of fun. I wonder it's MG anxiety. I'm like sleeping at 1 a.m. and waking up at 5 a.m. Me for real, for real. Me and my eye bags. I think I got a cold. No, colds are the worst. Feel better, Nano. I think I got a cold. No, colds are the worst. Feel better, Nano. What? Okay. Got nothing for that. Nano will have free time at some point. There has to be a break in the commissions eventually. Nano suffering from success. She wants that nice house. Don't blame. I said I'm taking less models. Now I want to work on my own brand too. Fucking good for you. Merch commissions are still a thing that people want from you. Nano, your art is just desirable in all forms. I'm still with cold. If I die, tell Jaden happy birthday. And don't you say that they will never accept you. It's free to apply. A shot not taken is a shot always missed. I'm considering. Tough. Bishojo BR would be a dream. Man, that didn't age well. Not gonna lie, this year has been hitting different in a good way, maybe. Been looking to do different stuff. I can't stop sleeping. I won't raise it because toggles weigh a lot. Also, I don't think bankrupting VTubers is a fair idea. I never thought me opening applications would feel like an event. How are you? I hope you drink enough. Damn, the man's encouraging alcoholism. Had the worst headache last night, but I'm really good now. Damn. I've confirmed my alcoholism statement. Sent home, back on the grind. My feet hurts. Understandable. 2 days is already too much for me. Are you at home already? Also, I'm making fun of the fact that yes, the English here is not perfect. And yes, I understand that, but it's really funny to say that I hope you get drunk. Ha ha ha. Yeah, how many screenshots for a cold is insane. I'm at home, back to the art grind. My feet hurts, understandable. 2 days is already too much for me. Are you at home already? You did good, Nano. Time for sleeps. Going back home today, back to the nest. Congrats on survival. Surviving is a very strong term. That is a fucking wild ass emote, but good morning. Now we need a Nano stream of her telling about her AF experience. Wubs tomorrow while I show off BR VTubers. I'm all set at home. Back to the art grind. Welcome home. I'm dying. How many fucking... How do you have a cold again? Where is your immune system? 20... Oh, like... I understand what you mean, yeah. Now we need a Nano streamer for telling about the experience. I have no idea. I assume we're going to get to the point of this, like, towards the end. This is just to explain that she's been sick, I guess. That schlucks. Got germs. Hot germs infect hot people, I guess. I get it. I get it. We're making flirtatious comments. Don't care. I'm coughing like an old dog. Yes. Kill the cold, GG. I'm tired of this cold. Damn, why are we holding the cat hostage like this over a cold, brother? Brother Lou. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is just continuously reinforcing. These screenshots further prove that Nanolith was always having mental and health issues, proving that Nanolith canceled Silverveil and Bow for health issues and not because of Redacted. Let's move on to the exclusivity deal. Okay, cool. I guess. Sure, we can make that conclusion. As we know, Nanolith claimed that she was being manipulated and gaslit by Redacted. This is far from the truth. What about we can pay blank for you and you don't have to discount for for your straight, blah, 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 blah. Here we can see an analyst and Redacted talking about the deal. The one thing about the screenshot is that this is also another of the mini edited. Shaky reasoning, but also I guess at the end of the day, they're both like... They're arguing hearsay with hearsay because we have to take Bao's opinion into Bao and all of them and Silverveil into the situation of they said because she was sick, like literally what she said was better evidence, but this is just to reinforce that she was sick. Definitely a waste of a section. This could have been so better laid out and could have not had 72 different screenshots. Look, Bao. But I guess it's to reinforce that she was actually sick and that was what it was. Not that they were saying that because Red did that is whatever. The one thing about this screenshot is that this is also another of the mini edited. You don't work with Bao, blank, or blank at all again. Models aren't. I don't think I've ever done anything Bao or blank before. We have another GS label for you too, the AFK. Is that I'll admit more since Blank still asks for art every now and then. You tell her no, and they would give you another art piece and another job from it. This is the original unedited version. At the bottom, we can see that not only was Nanolith actively considering the deal, she also made a counter offer. Don't work with Val at all again. I don't think you just. We also have a GS label for you too. The AFK. Is there any way to add a little bit more since Blink still asks for models? We could do it. So you tell her no, and then tell us to buy another art piece. It do be fair, but okay, can I ask for a Demon Cinder figure? Oh, she was down with the dirty on this. Oh, she was with it though. Huh. That's... How did they... That's crazy. You're awful for taking that deal. Like, that's just an awful deal. Like, that's a shitty deal. I wouldn't take that unless I was getting paid a salary. That's your mistake. Again, it goes back to read your fucking contracts. But also, like, yeah, Nano was 100% in on this. Wait a minute. Doesn't this technically mean that Nano was gaslit by Bao and all of them? Because they were all in on this shit to release this? Wouldn't that technically mean that the other girls gaslit, the big five gaslit Nano to release this? Okay. Sinders just wanted to say sorry for stepping back on the exclusivity deal. Wanted to apologize personally since it takes... That's what I thought. Yeah. Since I've only talked about that with Red, but I just don't want to be dragged on any personal issues like that. After all, Blank, still a client, and it makes me anxious and kind of destroys my mental to do this kind of deal. Just wanted to let you know I still love working with you and Red, but I understand if things aren't. I get it, Nano. It was unfair to push it on you, but it was just really confusing going back and forth about it. I just get compared to her a lot even today, and it's like I'm always living in someone's shadow, which is one reason why Red asked about not making any more models for her. And when you said, I understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts so much after all this time. I really appreciate you, Nano, and it's your decision who you ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling. I really don't see the point of thinking about being compared to Blank. You're so much bigger already. You've done so much more. But I would never give Blank any priority over you. Also, there is not even any model for her being discussed. I just want to sleep clear-minded. Also, I'm not doing her models, but at least GamerSup's art stuff would be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an asshole to her. That's all. It's not me, but other people's opinions of us, and I'm just trying to not get involved in any drama that other people want to talk about comparing us. But I understand where you're coming from, Nano. There's no hard feelings. Sorry about this. My mental is just a bit weak. Have a single professional... No, they really don't. They're all very unprofessional. I'll accept a professional cancer cell. Here we can see that Nanolith steps back from the deal even after making her counter offer. So the accusations of sabotage and damage done to the VTubers is false. Now we come to the main actor. Shy Lily was the first person that Nanolith leaked to the DMs between herself and Reacted. This is some discrepancy of exactly when she was shown. Here we see Redacted saying that Shy Lily has been acting weird by skipping out of collabs with Cinder. some contracts were canceled, but I think they're making this accusation or they're making this statement on the basis that the canceled ones were done via, or the canceled ones were through her being sick, not actually because of the canceled deals between Red. I didn't buffer. At least I don't think I did. And the damage done to other VTubers is false. There was damage done, but I don't. They're trying to make the claim that it wasn't because of Cinder and Red, which they're basing this off of that she canceled the commissions out of her own sickness, and was being quite public about it. It seems it wasn't like this hidden thing. She seemed pretty public about it, especially through her Discord. So there is some claim here, and because they are doing a lot of discrediting to Nano's word, that this does raise a little bit of flavor into the bar that they are making a point with Nano in this. Like, they're not wrong. If we go off of the previous statement that they were getting canceled because she was legitimately sick and it wasn't because of pressure, this does hold some water, but that is also that leans on who do you believe, you know? Like who do you believe? Do you believe Nano in this, or do you believe Cinder in this? Honestly, they're discrediting Cinder, or not discrediting Cinder, discrediting Nano pretty well here to make this carry some sort of weight, especially if you release edited screenshots. That is a very solid like place to stand your ground. Yeah, back up to Nano confirming, no, I told them it was for the health. Which... yeah, I told them it was for health, which is the part that's very damning about it and kind of throws a wrench into it. Which is very not helpful. Jesus fucking Christ, so many screenshots. It isn't very helpful. That's okay. Turn on the plate. Do you think... everything I could, but I could believe it's the only issue. I guess there's also like the you know, the whole manager thing can also run into it. Yeah, I told all of them it was health issues. Did you cancel models? I did not. Nano's Nano arc delayed to 2026. I'm scared to cancel with Val. You shouldn't be. Wait a minute. Was there... hold on. There's something I need to go to here. Was that like an example of... where is... it's just mental's a bit weak. This is that conversation. There's the fucking... don't care about that. Don't care about that. It's not what I'm looking for. That's sack. Not what I'm looking for. Is it cancel? Ah. Okay, so there's really no change in that. Okay, so there was no change. But yeah, if you look at it as they're not pressuring to cancel models. They're just asking, did you cancel models? Like, I guess. But yeah, like, no, it was like, no, I told him it was for health reasons is definitely damning, but yeah, did you cancel models and cancel your models are like two very different statements. But Nano does make the assertion in that sentence that they were being pressured into canceling models. Interesting. Okay. Now we come to the main actor. Shiley was the first person that Nanos linked the DMs between herself and Redacted. There's some discrepancy. Here we see that Redacted saying that Shiley has been acting weird by skipping out of collabs with Cinder. Shiley confirms this on one of her streams in this clip. Okay, what is Shiley?
Collabs that had like 7 fucking other people in there. Collabs I was thrown into in a big ass group chat and simply said, sorry, can't do. Because I have something that day. One of them was a dentist thing. I didn't have it on that specific day, but I just didn't want to. The day after the dentist, I just simply didn't fucking want to. And the other one, yeah, I dodged. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah. One of them I did. Because at that one, I already knew. And the other one, yes, I dodged. So anyways, yes, I am guilty of dodging a collapse that had...
Referring to being shown the DMs from Nanolith. Okay. Look at this YouTube, that's crazy. Shy Lily confirms this on one of her streams. Shy Lily's stream in this clip. She also says, I already knew, referring to being shown the DMs from Nanolith. She already mentions that one of the days was because of a dentist appointment. Managed to sit through my dentist appointment without a panic attack for the first time. I'm so very happy. Here you can see the date of the appointment was 3/8/2025. This effectively puts the collab skipping around that date. Let us shift back to that date, to the date that Nanolith dropped her doc. Okay. I'm here to share something then. Okay. As you can see, Nano dropped her doc on April 26, 2025. In the same video, Shy Lily confirmed she skipped collabs. She says that one screenshot from a couple days ago started everything. Okay.
Competitive when, again, reflecting, that one screenshot started it all. And that was from, at that point, a few days ago. That one screenshot. That once, and I was like, that's fucked up. And I gave Nano the receipts of, it's not true. I did say, oh, I did ghost her in the DM once. I didn't see the DM. But somehow, before Nano worked on my 3.0 model, that wasn't a problem. Everyone who is in contact with me, anyone who is close, even my viewers, everyone knows I suck at Discord. I'm very distant. I'm very messy. I don't check.
Okay, and okay, that carries what weight? As you can see, Nano dropped her. Let's see, dated 4/28/25. So this contradicts the actual date when she was dodging collabs, when she says, "I already knew." Effectively showing that she knew about the screenshots month before Nanos' doc dropped, not just a few days before. This can also be confirmed by Buff Pup. Oh shit! Wait, Buff Pup got in on this? I forgot. No, I know Buff Pup got in on it, but
this situation because it still is affecting a lot of us. But you know, with the fire VTuber that happened recently, a lot of us didn't say anything until the person who was affected said something. And we all went to said person and said, hey, what do you want to do? And they said, I want to do this. And we said, okay, girl, like, you go do that. And we'll be here to support it. So it's just kind of like, a lot of people don't say anything until that person. And I love that about the VTuber community, because I think that respecting your coworkers and friends is very important. I see a lot of like drama channels wanting to like say a whole bunch of shit and be like, I can't blah 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 blah. But I feel like the drama channels really just don't know what's going on and they just want to make a quick buck. And you know what?
There's something that you knew. Not just a few days, this can also be confirmed by Butt Pup on her stream. Crossover episode is crazy. Yeah, when have VTubers ever done that exactly? VTubers don't do that type of shit. As mentioned before in the timeline at the beginning of the document, the docs that were dropped within minutes of each other. Yeah, this was extremely obvious of corroboration. Like these were already written. With all this information, it leads to the attack on Cinder was premeditated, very much so. The point of attack that Shy Lily used, well, not only so there does hold some weight. Especially, it holds a lot of weight, actually. If you go with the information it leads to the attack was on Cinder was premeditated, well, somebody had to edit screenshots. And not only that, the other people did Nano's Google Doc. You can read it at like the very top of Nano's Google Doc, you know, where like you're supposed to put your name and shit. It says that other people did it for her because her English isn't very good. So it was very obvious that the entire situation was premeditated. A point of attack that Shyla used was that Van Peaches said in her tweet about Cinder, which Shyla, this brings in an element. Also, somebody, I guess just thinking about it on it now, they say that the Cinder was saying that like, oh, Shyla started acting very, you know, suspicious and started dodging on shit. Well, she's right, because if they were getting information before all of this before and was intentionally trying to dodge collabs, then yes, her response to saying that you were acting a little funny because you were intentionally dodging shit because it was Cinder is accurate. That doesn't make it any less accurate. That makes it still accurate. It isn't false. It is still very true. All it is that you admitted to being guilty in the situation and you just said, fuck it, I don't care. You did the thing. You did the thing that she said that you did, but you're saying that it didn't and that she's just being a bitch even though you did it. It's like, okay. Obviously, duh. It's like, yes, congratulations. A point of attack that Shyla used was Van Peaches said in her tweet about Cinder. With Shyla, this brings in an element of hypocrisy on her part. If we go back in Shyla's history, she states that she had installed a keylogger on one of her ex's laptops. By the way, I'm going to be entirely fucking honest, okay? I saw this by skimming, right? Because I was curious if this was even worth going through. Installing a keylogger on one of your ex's laptops because she suspected him of cheating on her is fucking crazy. This is some red flag sociopathic bullshit that is clear cut, that you spend more time in your fucking head worrying about stupid shit than you actually do paying attention to normal fucking problems. You don't do this. Like, Shyla was using Van Peaches said in her tweet about Cinder. With Shyla, this brings an element of hypocrisy on her part. It seems to be that Shyla believes in rules for thee, but not for me. How can we hold Cinder to Shyla's standard when we can't hold those standards herself? Huh? There's only 10 pages left. I guess 9 if we go right here. This doesn't hold a lot of weight. You needed something more, I don't want to say damning, but you needed something that's a little more. In the video, Shy Lily confirmed she skipped collabs. Yeah, she says that one screenshot from a couple of days ago that started everything. Shy Lily's stream dated 4/28/2025. So this contradicts the actual date when she was dodging collabs, when she says, I already knew. Effectively showing that she knew about the screenshots months before Nano's doc dropped, not just a few days before. This can also be confirmed by Buff Pup. That is true. So this is confirming that, like, this is confirming that, like, yeah, there was some hanging behind. They were 110% like sitting behind each other, you know, creating a little circle to sit there and talk to each other, which I guess is fine, but also it doesn't really sound like considering Nano's entire like document was edited, it doesn't seem like it was done in a way that wasn't involving pressure from Shy Lily and the others. There was definitely some pressure here from them, and not only was there pressure, they were corroborating stories. You know, they were trying to get their stories together. So to an extent, if you think about it, if you think about it in this perspective, a lot of this could be because all they did was share the same screenshots, and by the looks of it with Nano, intentionally try and hide things. You can definitely make an argument here that yeah, that's how court cases work. They got behind and conversed with a single set of things and corroborated stories. But because Nano did manipulate the stories, there is the possibility that Bao and Shy Lily corroborated their stories based on that falsehood, which could be done intentionally to make somebody look worse. If you do it like that, it's why police officers don't let people sit together and come up with a story. You know, it's like, yeah, to counter this, you use evidence. The evidence for this isn't very good, but also if the people involved all corroborate the situation, it's very hard to find that evidence. Surprisingly, somehow they've managed to do it. I don't know through who. But the only real way we'd be able to see any definitive evidence on this is that the relevant evidence is very important. The conversation in the Discord group that they made specifically to do this would need to be leaked. That's the only way to get the definitive evidence for this. Because everything else is just going to be fucking... The group chat existed. They've mentioned that it existed. Buff Pup mentions that they had a group chat made together. You know. Evidence can always be in a phone call. Messages can be deleted. Yeah. You know, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of ways we can't get to the evidence in this situation. But, yeah, publishing the chat cannot prove there was not a conspiracy. Oh, 100%. But what I mean is that the conspiracy... we would be able to get relevant evidence from the conspiracy because obviously somebody had to convince Nano to edit fucking screenshots. You know, if Shy Lily and them pressured to make the situation look worse, then it looks worse. You know, like it doesn't really matter. There's no there's no way to really like look at that and be like, well, how much of this is like what this is doing is it's throwing some wrenches in a few ideas, but it doesn't have any concrete evidence to really stack up anything. They needed more. They should have sent this to me. I would have read it. A point of attack that Shirley used was that Vampy just said in her tweet about Cinder. The keylogger thing is fucking crazy, by the way. Rules for thee, but not for me. Shy Lily's standard whenever she can't hold a standard herself. Another showing of rules for thee, but not for me moment was about the exclusivity deal that Redacted was negotiating with Nanolis. Shy Lily and others shamed Redacted and Cinder by proxy for seeking an exclusivity deal and barring Nanolis from working with other creators. But when the Vshoujo drama happened, Shy Lily had a different story. She says that exclusivity / non-competition deals are good.
Red flag was I asked them to sign a non-compete between them and Mythic. They didn't want to sign that. I have proof of everything, by the way, and before anyone tries to pull some weird sneaky shit or we show to try some weird sneaky shit, I have proof of everything. They then tried to argue when I asked about the non-compete. They were like, hey, we operate on a trust basis, and I was like, don't give a shit, don't care, don't try. It's a contract, trust basis. The second red flag was in this beautiful first interview where they presented
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Don't they then try to shit or I have proof of and opportunities that come my way are due to be shoujo in my name. And I said, no, all of these things are stuff I did myself. You don't touch it. The by far biggest red flag was I asked them to sign a non-compete between them and Mythic. They didn't want to sign that. I have proof of everything, by the way, and before anyone tries to pull some weird sneaky shit or we show to try some weird sneaky shit, I have proof of everything. They then tried to argue when I asked about the non-compete. They were like, hey, we operate on a trust basis, and I was like, don't give a shit, don't care, don't try.
We operate on a trust basis, and that's a problem? Oh my fucking god. They didn't want to sign this exclusivity deal. So that's a problem. So yeah, okay, so I can get behind that. It does make sense. They are making a point here that the rules for thee, but not for me. You know, they do make a point here. There is some hypocrisy in this because she is actively wanting to pressure an exclusivity deal, but definitely goes after Nanolis and Red for pushing an pushing for Red on the exclusivity deal. Nano's deal was fucked. But regardless if the deal was good or not, it doesn't matter. The contracts for Vshoujo were fucking awful to begin with, and people signed those. They're a shit, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. You can sign yourself into a shitty contract. You shouldn't do it. And it's like accepting a job under minimum wage. You just don't do that. It's bad idea. And barring Nanolis from working with other creators. But when the Vshoujo drama happened, China had a different story saying that exclusivity and non-comp deals are good. That is true. She did say that. It's like, regardless if the deal is good or bad, that's not what she argued. She didn't argue that they were giving a good deal or a bad deal. They argued that they were shitty for giving out a deal. Or that they were even trying to bar Nanolis from working with other creators. It wasn't whether or not that the deal was bad. The argument comes from the point of barring people from being able to use that creator followed by proceeding to do the exact same thing yourself would be a hypocrisy. Let me see. I'm pretty sure there is actually. Give me a second. Let's see here. Trying to see. It's so fucking hard finding exactly what I'm looking for here. Let's see. Ah, yes. Shy Lily. Professional Ocean Oreo VTuber. Professional is a term you should use lightly. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find. Aha. Let me see if I can find the. Where's her fucking Google Doc? I'm pretty sure she made one. Or maybe she didn't. Yo, wait a minute. Huh. Damn, Shy Lily and Cinder have been in contact for a while. I don't know. I'll find the fucking Twitter post at some point. Let's see. She has conversation. Non-comp deals are good. Okay, so I wonder if I could argue her with the whole PlayStation thing. Numi's concert was another use for Shy Lily to use against Cinder. Shy Lily states that Cinder completely missed Numi's concert to do the V-card box opening. There are several things that refute this. One, people that had bought tickets to Numi's concert, and two, videos of other streamers confirming that Cinder was there. This is Bao's video where she states that Cinder was at Numi's concert. Skip to timestamp 4:37 and 14. Okay. 4:37. We're gonna go a little bit back to get some context.
Every time. It was so cute. Cinder, I loved it. Y'all sounded so good. We're gonna need even more shows after this. She is so cute. I love her. I'm so glad she cheered us on. Junie. I love Junie Mooney. Oh, she.
And what was the other timestamp? 14 minutes?
That's what helps me get through the day. Especially when I'm nervous, and I was quite nervous. And Numi's just going around doing stuff, and all her friends are coming backstage. Junie, Matara, Vienna, Cinder, Tara.
This is Vienna's video stating that Cinder was at the concert. Okay, so we have... Okay, so...
I heard.
Shh, go away. Damn, what the fuck? Okay. Every time I see a new VTuber, somehow they're less and less dressed. Holy shit, put on some clothes.
I had so much fun. And yeah, I was trying to scream at the concert, but I tried not to scream too loud because Cinder was literally in front of me, and I didn't want to scream her ears off. Okay, another thing, I kept trying to...
Ah. Here's a Twitter post made by Cinder, which is also seen in Bal's video. Y'all sounded so good. Yeah, we saw that. Now, you may ask why Shy Lily would do this to Cinder. Well, the most logical answer would be jealousy and pettiness. In the following, I'll show examples of why this is highly probable and the pattern that Shy Lily shows to support it. As stated above, my theory of why Shy Lily planned the smear campaign was because of jealousy and pettiness. Here is why. As we know, Shy Lily is a part owner of GamerSupps. On January 16th, 2025, Cinder announced that she has become a part owner of GamerSupps. Yeah, we know that. You're a 10% owner. Now, why is this relevant? Let us look at some numbers. Yeah, Schlatt is 70%, Cinder is 10, original founders are 8. Damn. Angel Investors is 7, and Shy Lily is 5. As you can see in this picture found by Mama Oko, Shy Lily owns 5% of the GamerSupps, and Cinder owns double the amount at 10% of GamerSupps. Why does that matter? Well, look at some other things. Top Twitch channel by bit. Again, we can see that Cinder is making double the bits than Shy Lily. Damn. Holy shit, how is that damn near that close to exactly double? That is actually insane, by the way. That is damn near perfectly fucking double. That is insane. That's just crazy to me. Sorry. I just feel like the odds of that happening are extremely low. Like, something about that just doesn't... That's crazy. We are coming up to... We are making a statement that Shy Lily's motive is possibly jealousy. Well, let's look at something. Also, Cinder was growing rapidly. Yes, she was. I can confirm. Cinder was fucking skyrocketing. No, we got out of the exclusivity deal. What I believe set things off is when Cinder referred to herself as Charizard, pertaining to V-Card that Cinder was fire and Shy Lily was water. Okay. As innocent as it seems, Shy Lily crashes out about it on stream. Huh. Okay. At this point, it just seems like pure drama, yeah. Shy Lily shows pettiness towards Cinder even months after the drama. She will not call Cinder by her name and banned anything to do with Cinder from her Twitch chat. Other instances of pettiness by Shy Lily where people close to her consist of taking the quote, "It's just business," and editing it into a meme with her face on it and uses it to her ending scene to her streams. Shy Lily's editor, Clipper, in this document trying to talk to me, created a t-shirt with the same meme and wore it to TwitchCon. At the beginning of this section, you have noticed that I underlined the word double. There is a reason why I've done it, and I will explain why I brought it up now. As many of you know, Vtuber's situation that has happened recently with them taking Iron Mouse's money that was originally meant for charity, she decided to start another one. With all the donations that were made, the end total was more than 1 million. One of those donors was Cinder. Oh. Shy Lily cannot let a good thing alone and one-up Cinder shortly after. Oh. You may ask, why do I say Shy Lily one-up Cinder? Yes, you can see Shy Lily donated more than Cinder, but when you look at the amount, it seems that Shy Lily was trying to double Cinder. Yes, I admit it's not exactly double mathematically, but when you see Cinder's donation at 66666 and Shy Lily's donation at 122222, it's quite obvious that Shilly's intention was. Shy Lily later refunds. I'll have my opinion on this fucking point. After she received backlash on Twitter, but later tries to defend herself by saying she was trying to donate 10,000 euro, and it's not her fault that the exchange to US dollars looked like she was trying to double Sinders' donation. See the level of pettiness, not just towards people on Twitter.
Also, thank you to everyone who had the brain cells to not fall for the rage bait of like the same 6 people who are like mentally obsessed with me. Those 6 people who just wake up and they're like, oh god, I can't wait to see what charitable deeds Charlie is doing today. Like micro dick in fucking hand. They're like, I can't wait to just twist some freaking charitable deeds for my own agenda to make it all appear to be about someone else. Ever since I saw under my post what they post, because like it's hard to not walk into it when they're literally in my face.
Okay. I'm gonna go through all of this. I have a rant.
I have no problem addressing their bullshittery on stream because I very clearly don't watch stream. The way I literally on stream addressed the fact that I tried donating but I needed extra info and I was scared it would show my name if I log in with my data. So I was literally talking to chat like, hey, can I do this and this? Can I use this and this? Will it show this and that? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thank you for educating me before I, somehow dox myself. Those people
Okay.
try and twist it into like a thing of, yeah, how dare you didn't donate after using this to cloud chase. And it's like, brother, they literally make shit up. The amount of people that try and make this into drama bait, saying that I donated my amount to double a specific other person's amount is pathetic. And instead of realizing that the math isn't mathing, they are just like, Lily can't do math. Fucking stupid. Pathetic. So full of petty.
Okay.
They have to put everything into drama. Like they wake up with a fat fucking rage boner, like as big as their micro penis can get, and they just wake up and they're like, I'm thinking about Shy Lily. I'm thinking about Shy Lily. And like when I go on Twitter, they bust the fattest fucking nut, bro. I shit you not, they are on drugs. They are literally hallucinating because there is this one part going around under my tweet and in my comments that call me pathetic for not doing math, and then the comments go, yeah, well, once she was called out for it, she refunded her donation. She retracted her donation. All the comments just go like, pathetic. I can't believe it. Oh no fucking way, that's so fucking pathetic. And I'm like, I am living rent-free in their head. After that last crash out they tried to have, it is very clear that none of them, as much as they have a hate boner for me, none of them watch my Twitch. It's not my fault. I wanted to donate 10,000 euros. It's not my fault that 10,000 euros are nearly 12,000 USD with a bunch of 2s in there. I wanted to donate 10,000 euros. The website is in dollars. It ends up being $12,000 and like a little bit. It's literally just to be fucking funny and to be above YouTube Studio.
Wait.
Like to be above fucking like $1,000 USD with a bunch of 2s in there. I wanted to donate 10,000 euros. The website is in dollars. It ends up being $12,000 and like a little bit. It's literally just to be fucking funny and to be above YouTube Studio. Like these.
So you're just lying. Okay. Hold on. We're let it go.
They're telling me to not insert myself into like some fucking drama.
Because you do realize when you say this, that would mean that when you sent that, even to the fucking translation, you would have needed to exactly donate 10,224 fucking euros and 64, I don't know what the fuck your pennies are called. Which you weren't doing. And it's not like you got 12,000. You got 12,22222. You didn't land 12,000 on the dot. You landed 12,22222. You don't accidentally do that. That's not something you accidentally do in conversion unless you're intentionally looking to do that. That is not how that works. Like that isn't because, you know, you would have needed to donate exactly 10,490.73 euro to exactly land on 12,22222. You don't do that by fucking accident. That's not a, oopsies, I made a mistake and it just translated. You were 490 and 73. It is pennies for EU? Ah, okay. Yeah, you were 490 euros and 73 pennies off. You are so bad that you were somehow magically 400. You wanted to donate 10 grand and somehow face smashed your keyboard. A 4, a 9, a 0, a 7, and a 3. You don't do that by accident. Especially when right now, euro is fucking 86 to a dollar. You don't do that by fucking accident. Don't sit here and fucking lie to me like you didn't do that intentionally. You can't in any way, shape, or form, unless not only are you fucking perfect, not only are you amazing at what you do, not only are you the fucking queen, you are apparently the monarch of probability. You should have bought a lottery ticket. You would have had success in buying a lottery ticket. Then you would have accidentally not only donated 10,000 euros, you would have accidentally donated exactly amount to get a repeating number. You could not physically fucking do that unless you were intentional. You are literally looking at a 1 in a million right now. The odds of you doing that, and the odds of you accidentally slapping that onto a keyboard. My bad, guys. Hold on, let me just type 1104 to fucking. You're not accidentally typing fucking miscellaneous numbers into the top of your fucking keyboard. That's just not fucking happening unless you're doing that intentionally, or you're an absolute fool to think that I'm gonna fall for your bullshit. I would have zero issue for this if the number correctly matched up to 10,000. If it matched up to 10,000, I would have zero mistake. I would have zero issues if it matched up. It does not. It is nowhere near. Because you had to get it down to the cent. Not the fucking anything else. You had to get it down to the cent. You would have to have intentionally added pennies to your donation to get 12,22222. This wouldn't bother me if you weren't fucking lying through your teeth to simply bash people. Somebody here makes a point. And keep in mind, Tiltify takes 500 euros cut at those amounts. So then why was it 12,22222? That's not how things work. You didn't accidentally fucking do this. This wasn't a, oopsies, I did it by accident. We're working with solid numbers. And somehow, if Tiltify takes 500 of that, you would be even more off of landing 12,22222. And even then, it would make you look worse because that means you would have to take into account the fact that Tiltify is taking $500 after your donation as a cut to then further land the 12,22222. Don't fucking stand in front. Don't fucking go on the internet and lie to me and call me a fucking rage baiting micro penis, whatever fucking smear terms that you can come up with off the top of the head, like you are absolutely the biggest brain human being on the fucking planet, when I do not believe for a fucking second. I do not believe for a fucking second that you can accidentally make this happen. You did not do this by accident. Do not fucking act like you did it by accident. Don't say, oh, it's my bad, I did it by accident. No, you fucking didn't. The probability of you doing that by accident is extremely fucking low. I probably have better odds jumping off of the third story of a fucking building and surviving before you accidentally land that fucking number. Don't fucking lie to me. Do not act like that. That is an absolute bullshit lie. You are screaming through your teeth with that one. I would have given benefit of the doubt if it was even remotely close. Like if it was remotely close to 10,000 euro. A 10,000 euro donation, I would accept it. If it was remotely close. It was not. Nowhere near. Because not only would that have to line up perfectly, not only would your donation have to line up perfectly, you would have to have taken into the consideration that the fucking euro has changed by a penny over a week before you made this donation. You don't do this by accident. Because that one penny wouldn't even land it by accident. You would have to intentionally look up at that time 12,22222 to make that fucking donation. Do not lie to me. I am not stupid. And you are absolutely a fool, Lily, for thinking that I would fucking just believe your word on this.
Charitable deeds
Also,
to not fall for the rage bait of like the same 6 people who are like mentally
one, she falls for the own rage bait.
Those 6 people who just wake up and they're like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what charitable deeds Charlie is doing today.
Why? What issues? What issues? Why would it be an issue that you're doing charitable deeds? That isn't an issue. That's not an issue. They're keeping an eye on my charitable deeds. And if you don't have shame doing charity, there shouldn't be any issue with people doing it.
micro dick in fucking hand. They're like, I can't wait to just twist some freaking charitable deeds for my own agenda to make it all appear to be about someone else. Ever since I saw.
Yeah, because this and this are coincidences. Yeah. Yeah, those right there, that's coincidences. She's right. If you do it mathematically, it isn't exactly double. But if you do it mathematically, the odds of you landing that makes more sense in regards of saying you did it intentionally than you coincidentally, accidentally making that mistake. Do not fucking lie to me. Later refunds her donation. First off, 10 toes in. After she received backlash on Twitter, but later tries to defend herself that she was trying to donate 10,000 euro and it's not her fault that the exchange to USD looked like she was trying to double Sinders' donation. Yeah. It's not my fault that I'm being a petty high school bitch. In the video, you can see the level of pettiness, not just towards Cinder, but towards the people on Twitter. Yes, because she is being extremely petty in this regards. To answer Shy Lily's question, yes, we do watch her streams. Not long after her stream, she exchanged rate defense. The exchange rate defense was debunked. At the 23rd, this was the conversion rate. So whatever direction... Hold on, this fucking... Why would we make... You made every other screenshot fucking massive. But like this one... This is what we go with. This is let me hold on. This is as big as I can get. This is fucking AIDS. At the 23rd, this was the conversion rate. So whatever direction it went, she lied. Ain't no fucking way she didn't calculate to land on that number. Not to mention, it seems you can't even donate in euros to begin with. Haven't verified that part, however, but yes, same. Yeah. It doesn't work. As I was saying, yes, we do watch it. And yes, you are an absolute fool for thinking people would believe you on this. She also states that she wanted to donate anonymously and could not find how to yet when there is clearly an option to do so. Okay, cool. So she called me dumb. She called me dumb, but couldn't find the anonymous donation button.
Start, press any key. Where's the any key? S, Catarl, pickup. There doesn't seem to be any key. Oh, this computer is making me thirsty.
Oh my fucking god.
No time for that now. The computer's starting.
That's... The bitch couldn't find the obvious anonymous donation button, but wants to call me stupid. Bitch. Yeah. You know what? You know what? Maybe she's right, because I'm sure people with micro penises are much easier at finding smaller buttons on the screen. So maybe they do have micro penises, because obviously they would have been fucking 10 times smarter because they found the anonymous donation button. Where's the any key? I don't know, Shy Lily. This clearly shows that she will lie to defend herself and her followers will take it blindly. Yes, they do. I 100% believe that a lot of the people up there at the top are just fucking cults. This is where I summarize everything. First of all, this was blown out of proportion by Shy Lily and others. I agree on that. Very out of proportion. Fuck off. What are you doing here? Instead of going to Cinder and resolving the situation privately, they decided to They decided to coordinate a drop of Google documents to dogpile Cinder. Correct. Shy Lily knew about the problem before the previous mention of the week before the Google document drops, because she did lie about that. Natalis took screenshots from her conversations with Redacted and Cinder, edited and out of context. Natalis did cancel commissions on her own free will and by suggestion by her manager / husband Mio. She did say that it was Mio was why she was canceling those. Natalis, she did say it, but this one's hard to lean into, because if you take what she said to read in the regards of just be you know, I told them that I was, you know, I told them that I was sick. Yes, but also this one holds not a lot of weight to me. This holds weight. This holds some weight. And this holds some weight. They should have contacted me. I would have been able to, you know, completely tell you that this doesn't really carry too much weight. It throws a question, but it doesn't give an answer. Natalis, after entertaining the idea and making a counteroffer, she refused the exclusivity deal. Thus, no one was backstabbed. That's true. The only issue is that this part would have needed to be here, because this is what needed to prove the innocence of being backstabbed. The notion that Cinder knew everything is false, as she was in a long-distance relationship with Redacted. Again, it is I've never held the hand of a significant other, and I've never greeted I've never hugged any person that I've decided to have a long-standing relationship with. Take to say, we tell everybody everything that I do. So, you know, that is absolutely fucking silly. That is a dumbass take. All the people on Twitter who are fucking, I tell my partner about fucking everything. I'm sure you do, and I'm very confident by the end of the day, no matter who your fucking partner is, you've been talking through his ear or her ear so fucking much that it is going in one and right out the other. Because at no point in time is anybody gonna want to hear every minute, every step, every person you encountered, every conversation you had, every talk you had, everything you did every fucking day. And you cannot tell me that that is the case. And if that isn't the fucking case, I would love to get a fucking 1 month review of your relationship. I would love to see that fucking recorded. It isn't toxic to not share fucking relationship advice, or to not share relationship advice, to not talk about everything in a fucking relationship. Hey, I tell my fake husband everything. It's because your fake husband's in your own head. He knows everything. That's the problem. Cinder did show up to Numi's concert. This is just proof of the lie. So, exactly. This is just the lying. This is to further the lying, right? This is all this is. This is just furthering the lying. Is what they're trying to get here. Is that what this did really good at? It didn't prove innocence, which I don't think was the correct thing that they wanted to try. I don't think they wanted to try and prove innocence. I think they wanted to try and prove that the entire situation was intentionally manipulated and getting upscaled, which is essentially the big five here gaslit the entire fucking VTuber community by making things look worse than they were. And that should have been the standing point that they took, because no matter how you spin it, regardless, that deal was shit. They should have just offered like full-time benefits and a salary. You know, shit like that. The deal was ass. There could have been better things done. There could have been more done if they took that route. And you're silly for taking this place. You're like, it's a little silly to take this position. I agree with a lot of what they said here because it definitely doesn't disprove, it discredits the validity of the things that they said, at least for somebody in this situation. So I do agree with some of that. A couple of these really don't land. This doesn't really land hard. And that's about it. Cinder is only guilty of Silvervale. Again, this only holds water if this holds water. You would have to just take hearsay on this one from the left and right. Whichever side you pick is where you lean on this. So this doesn't have any concept or meaning. There's no reason to really take these two into light. There definitely was some Silvervale shit, and she did apologize to Silvervale. I definitely do think that something needs to be or some shit needs to be taken into consideration whenever you bring along the idea that Nano was in and was completely content with some of this before later backing out. And this is, in my opinion, probably one of the most damning things because it's the rules of multiples, right? Like, the rule of coincidence is a coincidence doesn't happen multiple times in a row, right? Even though we have evidence of apparently it happening almost multiple times in a row, right? Like, I guess kind of. It happened like once. This isn't even a coincidence. This is just how much she fucking purchased of gamer subs. This is a crazy ass coincidence. The fact that that is damn near perfectly double is absurd. That is actually insane. This isn't a coincidence. This is 100% intentional and not a coincidence. She is literally the fucking micro penis person trying to keep an eye out for whenever Cinder does something. Other than that, thus comes to the end of the document. Again, I'd like to thank everyone that has been involved that's listed at the beginning. If it wasn't for them and tireless hours, this information may not have come to the light of day. It's really good. I do agree they did bring information to the light of day. That's very important. Hopefully this document sheds light on the situation, that it was deeper than it originally seemed. Everybody should have known that it was deeper than it originally seemed. I also hope that document changes the minds of people who blindly followed the narrative and they recognize the truth. I definitely think that people need to ask more questions. There needs to be spotlights on the others in regards to this. I definitely think that needs to be the case. There needed to be a spotlight on the others too. To all the people that read this document, I thank you for taking your time to do so. Damn, the 80th page is blank. That's crazy. Why would you do this to me? Oh shit, the last 2 pages are blank. 79 and 80 are blanked. To wrap this up, this wasn't put together well. I think it was very, very, very poorly put together. And if anything, like, let me go here real quick. This is page 66. Holy shit. Page 54. Oh, wait. Yeah. 55. There were 11 pages of endless screenshots that brought a lot of issue, or not a lot of issue, but brings a lot of tiredness and a lot of it really takes away from wanting to pay attention. It didn't make things short, didn't make things sweet, it didn't bring information quick and to the point. If anything, it makes the read more tiresome, and it's not easy to deal with. Let me see. I didn't pay a lot of attention to the dates. I probably should have. I guess we can do like a quick peek here. Let's see here. So in 3-7, it says that she canceled a lot of people. So 3-7, 115. 3-7 would have been literally 2 months later, right? Where's the screenshot? $11.25. 11/25 to 2023. So wait a fucking second. Hold the fucking front door here. On 11/25/2023, she says that I told him it was because of health issues. On 8/6/2024, she started canceling because she was sick. Six 2024. 11/25. So over half a year later. This didn't. So yeah, I guess if you look at the dates, 11/17, 11/25, 2023 to 11/17. Cancel because Cinder. Eight 5/2024. Yeah, the only person. Okay, so yeah, actually, you know what? No, I do agree. If you look at the dates, then yeah, the only person who was really affected by it would have been Silvervale. Because if you go by the dates, she only canceled. It says that they canceled other ones, but there was entirely different dates and entirely months away, literally half years away. So like, yeah, 115 is whenever they started talking about it. And she canceled Silver 115 2025. Oh my god. This is what I was talking about, the fucking screenshots, by the way. 7/8/2024 on 11/20/2023 with Silver. This was this was over a year later is when they tried fucking oh my god. Okay, so that happened in 1/15/2025, which is this year, right? And then 11/25/2023, she canceled the one commission with Cinder. Or with Silvervale. Which means somehow the other cancellations after this date are her fault, even though she backed out a year before all the other cancellations. Yeah, silver makes sense. Like that you can 110% point a finger at and be like, yeah, that makes sense, because it does. Yeah, so they're trying to pin a blame of something that happened a year later when the contract or when the offer was literally a year before and only affected Silvervale. And Bow and all them still got their models. Yeah, 1/15/2020. Okay, so yeah, okay. I guess I was wrong. I guess yeah, like if you don't look at it at face value and you dive into the fucking, you do a little bit of detective work here, you know, like yeah, it holds a little more weight when you bring up the Silvervale thing. She did, yeah, she canceled those other commissions by her own free will because it would be wild to absurd that that offer was rejected half a year before, but was still the reason why it was being, the cancellations were happening half a year later. That is silly to say. So I guess this holds weight. After entertaining the idea of making a counter, she refused the exclusivity deal, thus no one was backstabbed. The only person that was backstabbed would have been Silvervale, if you go by the dates. So like, yeah, what all this did was just increase the, everybody was just corroborating to make the situation worse than it was, to pretty much bring down Cinder, which is what happened. And I'm sorry, Shy Lily, your fucking followers mean nothing to me. Yeah, you're not gonna continue to explain that this was an accident. Yeah, this is a Cinder defend post. This will be on YouTube, Jordan. You can catch up. Yeah. Like this is intentionally just being petty. Yeah, this is, sure, I don't agree that everything that happened was good, but also, again, I definitely believe that the entire situation was blown up bigger than it needed to be. The fucking Shy Lily's community and everybody else's community, 110%, we have seen on multiple occasions that these communities will ban to whatever the fuck their streamer says and will absolutely go blah, 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 blah. And, you know, we're absolutely sucking on every streamer's PP. But, yeah, no, this isn't... It is definitely the right to say Shy Lily would be an orchestrator in this. especially because Shy Lily's lied the most about this. So, well, I guess there it is. It just brings up questions and it brings in some things that people needed to really kind of sit on and think about it, because honestly, if you go into the idea that all of this was completely orchestrated weeks before these Google Docs dropped, then, and it was intentionally set up to blow the entire situation out of proportion, you kind of got gaslight by your streamer. Yeah. They have decent evidence of Nano lying. They have evidence of Shy Lily lying. And it came from the fact that the people involved with the situation slipped up. They literally slipped up weeks later, and it completely blew the situation in their face, because that is very true. That's how much they own of that chart is how much they own of gamer subs, shareholders. Schlot owns a large portion of gamer subs. Yeah, I guess that raises questions. I definitely do think people need to read through this themselves and take an opinion, because yeah, like that is a that makes solid points if you look at it dates wise. I could also be extremely snowblind from reading those dates and just got confused reading the dates, because it's this thing is not orchestrated very well at all, or is not organized very well. So yeah, like this is she should be held accountable for that, but like everybody else, like they just tried to slander her as much as possible. Is all that happened, and they blew everything out of the water. Everything was completely fucking orchestrated to be much bigger than it should have been. So yeah, that's about it. Good to know. Huh. Yeah, well, people should watch it. Like and subscribe. Hey, guys. Yeah, we don't we don't really do this very often, do we? I hope that y'all have had a good day before I get into this. This entire situation is I do believe that this entire situation is bigger than what we've been given. And those of you who know me know that I've never been involved with Cinder. I've never been involved with Bao, Lily. I have no personal stake in any of this. And the only reason why I'm really in here getting into the trenches and trying to figure out and wanting to figure out what any of this is about is because I strive to know the truth. I would love to know anything that is going on, anything that's happened. And in the original video, in the part 1, you can tell that there's a lack of trust in everything we've been given, and a lack of honesty that people think should have been there. I don't believe that we've been given all the information. I don't believe any of that. And I'm sure once you've watched that video and you realize, you know, the type of person I am, I like to do things very raw, very upfront. I like my emotions flowing in that moment, because it gives an example of how things feel. And you're gonna see that. You saw it, like you saw it in this video. you saw it especially at the end, once the charity got involved. People know my opinions on that. People know my opinions on anything involving charity, and how some of these VTubers at the top weaponize it and use it as, you know, a crutch to kick people down. It's disgusting to me. And I understand that we probably will never figure out what the truth is, but I definitely think to even attempt to sum up my thoughts at the end of this video, or sum up everything I went through and read when we recorded this live, because I know I get confused. The dates and the way it was organized gets me all back ass words. And I get really heated, and I don't really explain my thoughts. I was just ready to, you know, continue on with the stream. And I feel like I deserve to add that to the end of this, and deserve to add this to the end of this video, just so that I can try and sum up my thoughts. And while I don't think Cinder is completely innocent of everything that happened, I also don't believe she's guilty of everything we've been told. And I say this because even in recent light and after this video, you can find more petty shots. You can see the continuous attempt of all the other VTubers that were involved in this in trying to cut her down, keep her out, blacklist, whatever you want to use to describe the continued harassment and keeping somebody out of the community for actions that are, in my opinion, high school. The exclusivity, the way people acted, sure, we can say that the deal that was to Nanolis was dog shit. Sure, I'll give you that. But the thing that I don't think we can say is that both sides of these parties are innocent. I believe that the situation was 110% handled behind the scenes, away from everybody, in a little group chat where a bunch of these VTubers, or all the VTubers at the top, were able to get in this circle and, you know, oh, they hurt my feelings. Oh, and it just creates this endless loop, this hive mind of, we've got to get back at her, you know? And it should remind people of, you know, cheerleaders. They all get together and they go and they talk shit, you know, about one girl, and before you know it, they've come up with a plan to pie her in the face at prom, you know? And that's what this entire situation just feels like. Yeah, sure, we can point a finger and say, well, Cinder did that. Okay, well, if we're pointing fingers at Petty for doing petty, then we should be pointing fingers back and holding just as much accountability in both directions than one direction. And that's what annoys me the most about this entire thing, is that there is no accountability from one side to the other. Both sides are completely willing to say that one is innocent and the other is innocent. And at the end of the day, they're both guilty. There's, as the doc said, Cinder still did Silver dirty. And that is guilt. There is guilt there. But in my opinion, the the other side of the party, the other side of the spectrum, the other group who bands together to harass, not even harass a singular time, to continuously do it, to play petty, play bully, to lie, to be lying, conniving shitters. That's all it is. They're just being petty. They're being high school drama bullies. And nobody's big enough to call them out. Nobody's calling them out. It is just as Lily claims, or is it Bao? It was one of the two. Just as they were told that if you don't say something, it's nothing's gonna get done. You know, because you're the biggest. You have the influence. If you don't say anything, nothing will be done. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's trying to say anything. To me, this exclusivity deal, you're an asshole, is nothing in comparison to refunding $12,000 from a fucking charity, and people are defending her for doing such actions. Nobody is calling her out how she claims that there's people who are watching every donation she does to charity like that's a bad thing. Nobody's saying any of this. Nobody's pointing the finger at that. There was a $12,000 charity refund, which over some petty shit, over some childish, absolutely girly bullshit, to play petty and to continue harassing a singular person. When Lily apparently does not have the heart, the capacity, the mental capabilities to act above a 12-year-old, and can't set differences aside for something greater than them, is something absolutely pathetic, disgusting, awful. And people are defending this. It is absolutely pathetic that this Google Doc drops and it catches a tenth of the traction of the entire group conniving behind the scenes to make something worse than it really was, is entirely disingenuous to the situation. Had this entire situation played out naturally, without the involvement of the other VTubers coordinating a Google Doc within minutes of each other, this entire situation would have been able to naturally be handled by anybody. But what they did is they created a scenario in which you can no longer defend yourself, because to defend yourself would be to fight against all odds. We've seen this happen before. We've seen when communities band together within hours, minutes of each other because somebody made a mistake and somebody's fucking fifis got hurt. Nux is that situation. And if you remember that situation involving the shoujo, you remember exactly what Nux's time on the internet was like shortly after multiple of these VTubers got together and banded against one person over some information that they did not have the full disclosure of what actually happened in the background scenes. And that is exactly what happened. But I am not big enough, And there is nobody who's willing to take a stand that is bigger than me. That is big enough to take them on head on. Involving this situation. Because that is entirely what it needs. It needs somebody to call them out on their bullshit, on how this entire situation was manipulated. It was gaslighting communities. It was tricking people. It was lying. And it did all of these things behind the scene. And people are expected to just bend a knee and believe it. Again, I've never been a part of Sinders' community. I've never been a part of these others' communities. But that entire situation was on my feed for fucking weeks. It was weeks of watching people release Google Doc after Google Doc after Google Doc with misinformation and lies and slander and disgust. And somehow, we don't see this as something awful. We don't see that everybody got together to kick one person over some minor shit, to then falsify evidence, to lying, to tricking, to pretending to tell everybody that they care, to simply use this as a form of clout, a form of grabbing, and to cut somebody out that they do not like. In this situation, I implore you to go watch Mama Oko's video in regards to this, because they add in more information above what I have. The information I always try and provide comes from a common sense perspective, because it is easy to look at the grand scheme of things and say, you know what's happening. But it is extremely difficult to realize when you might be skipping over small things that may be making the situation worse, and or could be making the situation better. Or even how you could be getting lied to from one side and the other side. That you could be playing both sides of the field and not even know, because you're skipping past the first step. And what this situation told me is that this first step is that we were lied to. We were tricked. We were told things that weren't true. And we're being told that we need to just believe it. We're being told to act like sheep when there are wolves among us. And I do not believe for a second that that is any better than what happened to Cinder. And I do not believe that the actions they took were of a higher road than what Cinder did. I do not believe for a second that they should be allowed to stand on a high horse and praise each other for how they acted in that situation, when no matter who you pay attention to in this situation, no matter who you look at, no matter whose finger you point to, no matter what person you pick in this situation, you could stand in the middle, spin, and pick anybody out, and they all acted just as childish, if not more childish than the actions that Cinder took to begin this situation. There is no level of childish and pettiness that can compare these two fools, these fools in general, to say that they are better than the other. And I think that is something that needs to be paid attention to. Is that you have people in the VTuber sphere right now standing above one another, pointing, laughing, making money off of the destruction of another person's livelihood. And they want to claim that they are simply better than that person when the actions they take are just as petty. And I want that to set in. I want people to understand. And if you've made it through this entire video and you've gone the entire 2 hours to watch this little segment here at the end to get my wrap up on this and my feelings on this, then thank you. Drop a like, drop a sub, whatever you want to do. Leave a comment, you know? And tell me how you feel about this situation, because I think people need to look at this situation not just from a big scheme and not look at just the Google Doc said this, the Google Doc said that, you know, this screenshot shows that lie and this screenshot shows that lie. I think people need to look at the situation and they need to stare and peek at the little things that they've been doing in between their success in canceling somebody, from refunding a donation, not just making the donation, refunding it, from making a mockery of somebody to not even wanting to say somebody's name, to banding together to cut somebody down at the knees for pathetic, petty shit is disgusting. And that's why I wanted to add this to the end. Is because not only do I think Cinder deserves to come back, not only do I think Cinder has repented for what she's done, but I think the others need to be held accountable for their actions. If they want to sit there and talk like they are better than one another, that they are better than someone, they need to stand on those same 2 feet and act better than that person. They need to not act like children. They need to not act like 12-year-olds. They need to not act like petty high school drama bitches and realize that this world does not revolve around them. That this world has more purpose than their entire lifetime. That there are others who are greater than them. There are others who are better than them. There are others who have less than them and are better than them. And that they need to understand humility. They need to understand humbleness. They need to understand what it's like for this shit to happen to you at that level. Because it is not good. It is not well. And it is not something that you can look at and say that this was deserved. I will always remember the episode from It's Everybody Hates Chris, when Chris's mom essentially kicks him out the house. And his dad comes home and he says, it's like cutting the boy's arm off for sticking his finger in the fan. That's exactly what this is. They cut somebody's arm off for sticking their finger in the fan. So, with that, thanks for watching this video. And I hope you guys understand the situation that we're in. Not even we're in, the situation that evolved into what it is. And I hope you guys have a good day. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from.